Welcome students to lecture 6 of magnetic effects of current. So in this session we are going to discuss some conceptual questions which are asked from the various competitive exams in the same way, so related to the very textbook questions also. So let us begin the session. So here is the first question. If the index finger pointing towards the north, the middle finger towards the east while using Fleming's left hand rule, what will be the direction of the force acting on the conductor? So it is a application based on, so when a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force on it. So with the help of Fleming's left hand rule, we are going to calculate, or we are going to find the direction of the force acting on the conductor. So what is the direction? Before that, let us take the direction. So north, south, east, west. So what is the direction of the current? Index finger pointing the north. So index finger pointing the north, nothing but, so index finger nothing but forefinger. So forefinger represents the direction of the magnetic field. So along the north the magnetic field is acting. So this is the direction of the field. Next, middle finger towards east. So middle finger or central finger, according to Fleming's left hand rule, we need to stretch forefinger, central finger or middle finger, and a thumb. So by keeping this first to forefinger in the direction of the field, central finger in the direction of the current, and the thumb represents the direction of the force acting on it. This is according to Fleming's left hand rule. So when you stretch your forefinger in the direction of the field, that means along north, and this is the direction of the central finger, there is nothing but current. And what is the direction of the force acting on it? Force acting on the conductor will be perpendicular to the field and as well as the current. So perpendicular to field and current, nothing but vertically upward direction. The vertically upward direction we are representing like this. So this is central finger and this is thumb. So now we are going to get the direction of the force acting on it is upwards. Okay, right, now let us take the second one. An electric current passes through a straight wire. Magnetic compasses are placed at the points X and Y. Their needles will not deflect, only one of the needles will deflect. The needles will deflect in the same direction, the needle will deflect in the opposite direction. So here the current passing through the conductor. So if the current passes through the conductor, so there is a magnetic field develops around the current carrying conductor according to Oersted experiments. So what are the options given here? Their needles will not deflect. No. If the compass will be placed nearby, definitely the needles will be deflected. Only one of the needle will deflect. No. So on either side of the conductor, so both the needles will be deflect. Now our aim is to find whether the needles will be deflect in the same direction or opposite direction. So according to right hand thumb rule, we need to hold the conductor in the direction such a way that, so thumb pointing the direction of the current and the curl fingers gives the direction of the magnetic field at a particular point. So at point X, when you are closing the conductor, by keeping your thumb in this direction, your fingers will be so curling like this. That means it will be coming out. This is the direction of the magnetic field. Now in the same way at point Y, again I am placing the conductor in the direction of the magnetic field. Now this at this point we need to place the conductor. Now from the point 1, sorry, from the point Y, when I am trying to close the conductor, the fingers will be like this. So this is downwards and it is upwards. So the field will be upwards. That means the needles in the magnetic compasses will be deflects in opposite to each other. So opposite direction. So this is your answer, because the magnetic field lines are concentric circle. It will be like this. So one will be entering, another one will be leaving. Let us see the next question. The intensity of the magnetic field is defined as the force experienced by. So it is a concept question directly based on the definition of a magnetic field intensity or magnetic field strength. So how can we define the magnetic field strength? It is the force experienced by a unit north pole placed in a magnetic field is known to be magnetic field intensity. Therefore, it is force experienced by unit north pole. So unit north pole is the answer. Next, the magnetic field at a distance smaller along a long wire carrying current I is 0.4 Tesla. The magnetic field at a distance of 2r is. So according to Ampere's rule, we studied the magnetic field strength due to a straight current carrying conductor at a distance r from it is inversely proportional to distance and directly proportional to current. So here there is no change in the current, they are changing only distance. Therefore we can write B1 by B2 is equals to R2 by R1. So B1, so when the distance is R1 is equals to R, B1 is 0.4 Tesla and R2 equals to 2R, and they are asking what is the value of magnetic field at distance of 2R. So B1 is B, so B2, and then R1 R2 is 2R and R1 is R, so R get cancelled. So B2 is equals to B by 2. So what is B value? B1 value will be 0.4 by 2, therefore 0.2 Tesla is the magnetic field at a distance of 2R from the conductor. So this is the solution for this question. So based on the Ampere circuit law. Let us see the next one. The figure given below shows a current carrying conductor placed between the two magnets. Which of the following arrows indicates the direction of the force acting on the conductor? So again we need to approach with the Fleming's left hand rule. So we know that, so direction of the field. So first we know that the forefinger, we need to stretch our left hand forefinger in the direction of the field, central finger in the direction of current, and thumb gives the direction of force acting on it. Let us understand what is the significance of this arrow. So this is the current carrying conductor. If the current carrying conductor represented with a cross symbol, it indicates that the current is entering into the plane of the paper. Okay, na? So current is entering into the plane of paper perpendicularly. And one more significance is there, one more representation will be there. So dot, so current is coming out of the plane of paper perpendicularly. So this is the significance of the cross and dot symbol for the current carrying conductor. Now let us identify that. So this is the direction of the magnetic field. The direction of the magnetic field is always from north pole to south pole. So in this way we need to stretch our forefinger. Next, central finger. So central finger inside. So we can draw like this. This is the inward direction of the current. That means we need to place our central finger. Then automatically the force is acting along the downwards. That means along R our force is exist on the conductor. Again in this way we need to analyze the force acting on a current carrying conductor with help of Fleming's left hand rule. Right now, two current carrying wires are hung on a plastic rod. A large current is passed through the two wires in the direction as shown. Which of the following options is correct regarding this? So before going to do this, let us study the what is the concept related to this. The concept behind is when two parallel current carrying conductor when two two current carrying conductors placed parallel to each other, there is a force acting on them due to magnetic field. Sir, how the force acting on the current carrying conductors when they are all located parallel to each other? See, so I am taking two conductors. So in conductor 1, current strength of the current is I1, strength of the current is I2. So we know that when the current passes through a conductor, definitely there is a magnetic field created around the conductor. So this is a magnetic field created due to the first conductor. So this magnetic field is B1, and let us take the magnetic field created due to the second conductor will be B2. So it extends like this. So the distance between these two will be d, let us take. So if you observe this figure carefully, the second conductor is placed in the magnetic field of the first one. In the same way, the first conductor is also placed in the magnetic field of the second one. So when a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, definitely it experiences some force. That's why definitely there is a force is exerting on 1 due to 2. In the same way, due to 1 on 2. So F21 is equals to F12. Sir, okay, the force we can calculate. Then what will be the direction of it? So for direction of it, whether they will attract or repel, it depends on the direction of the current. If I1, I2 are in the same direction, they will attract. Next, if I1, I2, that means direction of currents are opposite, then they will repel. So this concept is enough to do this. So direction of current, if the two conductors carries the current in the same direction, what kind of force exists between them? Attractive force exists. When the direction of the current will be opposite direction, they will repel. Now let us see which conductors are carrying the current in the same direction, which conductors are carrying the current in the opposite direction. So first option, let us see. So 1 and 3 parts of the wire repel each other. So 1, 3. So both are in opposite direction. Direction of the current in 1 upwards, 2 in downwards. If the direction will be reverse, then definitely they will repel each other. So this is first option is correct one. Now let us see second option. 2 and 4 parts of the wire repel. So see, so second wire carries the current downward direction, fourth wire carries the current in upward direction. So therefore again they are in opposite direction, they are going to repel. Now let us see the third option. So 1 and 4 parts of wire repel each other. So 1 and 4, so both are carrying the currents in the same direction. If the current carries in the same direction, they will attract. So this will be not our option. Next, 2 and 3 parts of the wire repel each other. So 2 and 3, so 2 is downwards and 3 is also downwards. Again they will attract. If the direction of current is same, they will attract. So what are the options? Right options here. So 1 and 2 are the correct options regarding this question. So option A. Now let us see the next one. So consider the following statements and select the correct option which correctly identifies a true and false. So magnetic field and do not intersect because they are travel parallel to each other in north to south direction. So why they do not intersect? They do not intersect because the field has two different directions at the point of intersection. So because of that reason only they do not enter. This is not the correct reason. So statement 1 is false. Next, when a current flows through a straight copper conductor, it gets permanently magnetized. Okay, so when a current flows through a straight copper conductor, it gets permanently. So see, so copper is a non-conducting material. So if it is a non-conducting material, we cannot make it into a magnet. So it is also a false statement because it is a non-magnetic substance. Only magnetic substances can be converted into the magnet. Right, next, the strength of the magnetic field at the center of the circular coil inversely proportional to radius of the coil. That means we know the formula. Due to a current carrying circular coil center, B equals to mu naught Ni by 2R. So R is nothing but radius of the coil. B and R are inverse proportion. So the statement 3 is correct statement. So according to our assumptions, according to our concept knowledge, so we are going to get the C is the right one. Next, current is passed through the circular loop as shown in figure. What is the directions of the magnetic field at x and y? So for this, let us use the right hand thumb rule. After using the right hand thumb rule, so when you place the current at x, though here the current will be in clockwise direction. So you hold the conductor in such a way that thumb pointing the direction of it and curl finger represents the direction of the field. So the thumb will be downwards. So thumb is downwards. Now we are closing the fingers. So when you are closing the fingers will be curling like this. So this direction will be clockwise. Now let us see. So here the at x the current will be upwards. Now we have to place the thumb in such a way that now the fingers will be curling like this. So now this direction will be anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so in this way we need to analyze. So at this point the direction of the current will be downwards. So direction of the current is downwards. We are curling the fingers in this way. So this direction will be clockwise direction, and at this point y the thumb will be upward direction because the current is flowing upward direction. So the curl fingers will be represent the direction of the magnetic field. So at x clockwise, at y anti-clockwise. So our option will be C. Right. A current carrying conductor experiences a maximum force in a magnetic field when it is placed. So force acting on the current carrying conductor when it is placed in a magnetic field is depends on the orientation of the conductor in the magnetic field. So if we discussed this condition already, if theta is equals to 90 degree, then only the force experienced by the conductor will becomes maximum. So F maximum sin 90 value will 1, therefore maximum force acting on it is ILB. So let us see the second option A. So parallel to the conductor, so parallel to the conductor theta 0, so sin 0 value 0, therefore force acting on it will be 0. Next, perpendicular to the magnetic field, already we find that is F is equals to ILB. Next, 45 degree to the field, so 45 degree to the field, ILB sin 45. So ILB sin 45 value is 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 it is less than the ILB only. Next, if it is placed 60 degrees, so F is equals to ILB sin 60. So sin 60 value root 3 by 2, ILB root 3 by 2, it is also less than the ILB. So therefore force experiences will be maximum when it is placed perpendicular to the magnetic field. Next, so which of the following does not increase the power of an AC motor? So power of an AC motor depends on the P is equals to VI. This is the formula for the power, already we know it. So an increase in the number of turns, if the number of turns will be increases, automatically the power will also increases. So because the strength of the current in the coil increasing, sorry, the number of turns increases, the magnetic field will be increases, therefore the power will also increases. Next, an increase in area of the cross section of coil. Yes, It is also depends on the cross section of the coil. Next, an increase in the size of the core. So size of the core never affects the power developed or power produced by the DC motor. Next, the winding of a large number of coils on a soft iron core. So as we are increasing the number of turns on a soft iron core, what will happen? The magnetic field acting on it will be increases, therefore power of the motor will be increases. Okay, now number of turns increases, nothing but the torque increases. If the torque increases, automatically the power will also increases. So what is the formula for torque? Torque is equals to NIAB sin theta. This is the formula for torque acting on it. The power of the motor depends on the torque. As the torque increases, the power will also increase. It does not depends on the size of the core. This is not true in case of a power of a DC motor. Let us see next one. So when a small magnetic needle placed below a horizontal conductor carrying a strong current from west to east, its north pole will points in the direction of. So what is the direction of the magnetic field? The direction of the magnetic field around the current carrying conductor is concentric circle. So these concentric circles will be perpendicular to the magnetic field, therefore it is aligned in the direction of the north pole to south pole. This is the alignment. So it never align in the direction of southwest, east west and west east, because there is a force acting on this. So that force will be perpendicular to the alignment of the compass needle, therefore definitely deflects in the direction of the north and south pole. Next, a commutator changes the direction of current in the coil of a DC motor, a DC motor and an AC generator, a DC generator and an AC generator. So DC motor, the commutator helps to change the direction of the current. Next, a wire of length lambda is placed in a magnetic field B. If the current in the wire is I, then maximum force acting on the wire is. So again, force acting on a current carrying conductor ILB, they given that maximum magnetic force. So when it will be experiences a maximum force if theta is equals to 9, that means the alignment of the coil in the magnetic field perpendicular to it, therefore theta 90, F is equals to I in the place of L lambda B. So F is equals to B I lambda according to our given options. So A is the correct one. Well, let us see next one. So a wire 0.4 meter length stretched horizontally carries. So length of the wire is given, so 0.4 meter, and current, it carries a current of 15 ampere in the direction of east to west. So east west, so east to west, in a magnetic field whose magnetic field intensity is, so magnetic field strength is given 0.1 Newton per ampere meter, directed vertically downwards. So this is the direction of the magnetic field. So B is the direction of magnetic field downwards. What is the magnitude of the magnetic deflecting force on the wire? So see, so this is the direction of the magnetic field. So angle between the magnetic field and current conductor is 90 degree. So therefore force experienced by it is F is equals to ILB sin 90. Sin 90 value is 1, therefore I. So I 15. So length value 0.4 into strength of the current is 0. Strength of the magnetic field is 0.1. This will be 6 into 0.1, therefore 0.6 newtons is the force acting on the conductor. Right, next. So it is a paragraph question given in a competitive examination. Let us see. So three specimens of magnetic materials were tested using the operators as shown in diagram. When the switch is closed, the specimen picks up some of the iron nails, but when the switch is opened, many or most of the nails fall off. The number of nails picked up and left were found for 3 specimens the table shown in the result. So that means they are taking the different specimens. So specimens are by wounding with a insulated copper wire or insulated wire. So it is connected to a battery. Now they are making the experiment like the pieces, some keeping some iron nails. The iron nails are attracting. So actually this phenomena is belongs to the electromagnet. So why it is an electromagnet? Because as long as the current passes through the conductor, it behaves like a magnet. So it is a temporary magnet. So temporary magnets are nothing but electromagnets only. Once the switch is on, it acts like a magnet. Under on condition, it is a magnet. Under off condition, it loses its magnetic properties. And we discussed this electromagnet and the permanent magnets in detail. So the electromagnet should have what kind of properties? They should have low retentivity. So retentivity nothing but it has to retain the less magnetic properties after switch is closed. Okay, now low retentivity, and in a case of a permanent permanent magnets, they should have high retentivity. So that means if it is a good electromagnet, definitely after closing the key, it has to attract greater in strength, and when the switch is closed, it has to lose its magnetic property in a soon time, and it is residual magnetism will be also very less. So this concept is helpful to do this paragraph. So which material is the best electromagnet among three? So I told you that already. If it is an electromagnet, it has to attract the maximum number of pieces when the switch is closed. When the switch is open, it has to attract the, or it has to left the only less number of iron nails. So if you observe, 35 nails are picked up and 4 specimens are left. 20 specimens are picked up, 10 specimens are left. 40 specimens are picked up and 3 only left. That means it loses the magnetic properties quickly, and the same way it owns the magnetic properties also very quickly when the current is closed. So that means Z is a perfect electromagnet. Next, what does the number of nails left on the magnetic material indicate? So how many magnetic nails are left on the material indicates it is the ability to retain the magnetism when the current is removed. That is, it is explains the retentivity of the magnetic material. Okay, let us see the next one. So the figure given below shows the pattern of a magnetic field formed when current flows through a conductor. Okay, so this conductor may be a, what kind of conductor they are asking? Solenoid, straight conductor, a coil, a bar magnet. So solenoid pattern will be like this. So if it is solenoid, nothing but what? A very long insulated copper wire wound on a cylindrical structure, it gives a solenoid. So what is the field line pattern of the around the solenoid? The field pattern will be like this. So but our given pattern is not like this, so it is not a solenoid. Next, due to a straight conductor, the pattern will be concentric circle. The pattern is only a single concentric circle but not double concentric circle. So here we can see the two circles on either side. That's why it is a not a straight wire. And next, bar magnet. If you take bar magnet, so north pole to south pole, the field cell is passing. So this is a magnetic field due to a bar magnet. So this is also wrong. Then what about the coil? So in a case of a current carrying circular coil, so we did this activity nearby the conductor on either side. We can see the circles like this, and the middle or at center the field lines are parallel to each other. Because of here uniform magnetic field is produced, and the orientation of the magnetic field will be very strong at the center of the magnetic field. So the given will be a coil. So in this way we need to analyze. You can analyze this question if you know the field patterns due to the different current carrying conductors. Otherwise you won't get a perfect area in doing this problem. Right, next question. So which of the following alerts the direction of the current in the coil? So every half rotation in a DC motor. So a core, commutator, magnet, all of this. So the main duty of the commutator in a DC motor is to reverse the direction of the current. So this is the device, it is known to be commutator. So split rings plays the role of commutator in a DC motor. Okay, na? So these are the some questions based on the magnetic effects of current. So in next lecture also we are going to do some more new problems and some more conceptual questions based on the magnetic effects of current. So take care, stay safe.